Hello, everybody. We are live with the beautiful Christina de Souza, who I now cherish with all my heart. I've gotten to know her for about a year, just over a year now, I believe, right? A year and a half almost. Just suffice it to say that there's a lot of magic that unfolds when her and I get together. Let's take a moment though to ground ourselves, to clear the energy, and to just come into this beautiful sacred space that we're creating here. So I invite you to take a few breaths. Asking the mind, body, and soul and all aspects of self to be willing to receive and share, to accept, trust, and believe, and to recognize the power of the I ams. And I invite you to step into the I am open, with no expectations, no limitations, and an awareness of I am creating my outcome. And so it is. Thank you. I really wanted to kind of lean into that a little bit more because the name of this podcast is Step into the Light, Step into Your Life. And truly, that's what this is all about. And especially that I am open piece. It is about really recognizing how each of us are that critical piece changing our lives. What's been going on is that I really stepped into my life in a very profound way a number of years ago, and I continue to do that. And in fact, I just came from a physio appointment, and the physiotherapist was saying to me about how, I was talking to her about the Mata Hay. It's this mountain biking trail down in South Dakota that's fairly lengthy, and you need to be in shape and be capable of doing it. Uh, this is what I'm working towards with my injuries. This is what I'm working towards, is being able to do that. I'm stepping into that. And that's what I've done in my entire life, my entire business career as well. And what I love about Christina is she is so utterly fascinating. She is exactly the same, really has stepped into her life in so many different aspects. And it really began with this story that she has about her grandfather. And it truly, if she ever gets the opportunity, or if you get the opportunity as a listener to hear the full story of what that is, I just really, really recommend that you listen to it. In essence, Christina is the World Mastermind Cafe Inc., and she is bringing to us this beautiful opportunity to mastermind together as business owners and all that that entails. And I've been on the receiving side and also a partner of hers in a beautiful arena where we were able to coach a lot of people. And watching that unfold was really, really magical because she knows how to tap you into that genius. I know I'm saying a whole bunch of stuff. I really wanted you to share, first of all, maybe just a little brief background about why I'm so intrigued with the grandfather story.
Okay, thank you, Sandra. This started a long time ago for me, and really listening to you and leaning into what your listeners might be looking for is, our dreams are often these small, tiny little things at first, these little seeds. And my grandfather, he introduced me to a seed like none other, a little coffee bean, and had me look a little closer and had me look into the wonder of just how far that coffee bean actually goes. And it was more than just a cup of coffee. It takes 3 years to produce its first cherries, another 3 years, so 6 years in total before it is ready to be harvested. And then it needs to be packaged and processed and sent all around the world before it gets to you in your cup. And it got me thinking just how profound and how vast our potential is. And it looks so inconspicuous, like this little tiny little coffee bean. When I think of that, and when I look at that very special gift my grandfather gave me that day, it's given me the opportunity to look at everything and everyone just that little bit closer, Sandra. It's that special little gift in each one of us when we look across time and through time and all the connections we can make and all the difference we can make, the power of that potential. That is profound to me. That is where this all started for me, and it's what got me very interested in looking at the potential in others and looking into how one becomes empowered and really feel on purpose in the work that we do and what we bring into the world.
Thank you so much for sharing all of that. There's some other background that you have as well, and I'm just going to kind of lean into that for a moment. In essence, you're also a master neurolinguistics practitioner and a solution focused systematic coach. And so when I talk about business owners, if you will, or people who are coming together, it's like you've got this. Um, how does this want to come through? You've got this very unique ability of recognizing the talents of people. So, how do those other pieces of who you are come into that?
Neurolinguistics is the way we communicate as human beings. It's the word choice, it's how we tell stories. And in doing so, we communicate in very special ways. There are some that are more effective than others. Um, just one little way in doing this is looking at what your sacred gifts might be. This is a process that I'm trained in and that I'm a guide in, and it helps people look into what that genius zone really is. It's the innate part of us that we're born with. It's not some superpower, external to us. It's really the part of us that's innate. It often doesn't feel all that special to us, but to others, it's very unique. It's very special, and it's what's very much needed in the world. This lens helps me lean into 24 different gifts that we all have multiples of. It's not just one, it's often 3 or 4 gifts that we individually have. And through that lens, I can see what in alignment with somebody's business is going to help them feel on purpose, not only in the work that they do, but in the difference that they get to make in the world.
I find that so powerful, and just to show people how in alignment you and I are with this, you said something along the lines of the words that you're saying, the thoughts that you're using, and I am so very, very much about that. I'm in the process of attempting to train an AI program to take out specific words that I dislike using in my business. You notice I pause there as well because I'm very conscious of the word choices that I use. And so I really love hearing you bring up that piece of this. You also spoke about the sacred gifts. And when we talk about the sacred gifts, I just love that version, that title. And I know that it's very proprietary. So there's a very specific parameter or boundary around doing that. And I'm not going to ask you to deep dive into that because we're going to get to talk a little bit further about some of the steps that people could do with that. However, it is one of the biggest things that I've really noticed with people is that they're always attempting to figure out what their talents are, what their gifts are. And that's the biggest thing. So I love that you have this background. How can we, you know what, I'm going to switch gears on that question, not that how can we. What I'd like to know, Christina, is how did you use it so you were recognizing the parts of your own life? Because this is about stepping into the light and you stepping into your own life.
That's such a wonderful question. It's a great way to explore kind of how this, feeling on purpose and how gifts work. And I don't want to tell you what my gifts are because that kind of ruins the journey and the exposure of the process. But what I will tell you is this. In a former life, I was a financial advisor. And while I was a financial advisor, I protected people's lifestyles with insurance to make sure that in times of need, they had the financial protection in place to prevent any hardships. Having experienced this very thing and having insurance step in and really take care of me, I really felt on purpose in the work that I did. It really made a difference in the world to those individuals and those families that I got to protect. And I was that one individual when everything else was going awry in their world was showing up with an assistance and a solution. So I felt on purpose. Well, fast forward a couple of years and the same thing that took me out the first time comes back, and well, life happens, Sandra, and it happens all over again. But this time I'm working for a different company, different insurance representation, and this time the insurance doesn't pay me. and I go through a hardship like none other, I experiencing things in ways that make me question whether or not I still feel on purpose in the work that I do. And at the end of the day, I no longer felt on purpose. It no longer felt like a for sure thing that this insurance was going to protect people and it was going to be that very thing that I needed it to be to feel on purpose in the work that I was doing. And I had to take a step back and reevaluate. And when I did, I could see a few things. I could see that what I really loved to do was provide people with enough information to make really informed decisions. And I was really good at it. The second thing I found was that I needed it to be meaningful to me. All of a sudden, it was no longer meaningful for me to be providing a solution that may or may not pay out should you potentially have this problem. And worst case scenario, it might not at all. And in those circumstances, didn't feel on purpose. So when I put that back into alignment and I really looked at that and I went back to the drawing board and I took my little equation of feeling on purpose, the one that I've learned, like you did say that this is a proprietary program. It is. This is something that I have I've learned how to discern. I've become a guide in, and as a guide, I can help others through the same process. In this process, you learn a powerful equation of how to feel on purpose. And in doing so, I could take that very equation, go back, insert a couple different outcomes that I wanted. And pretty soon I was feeling back on purpose in the work that I do in the world. There's no better feeling than feeling on purpose.
I love that mute button. I love this because we all reach a point in our life where we're put into the position of evaluating what's going on or reevaluating where we've actually gone. And so this is very, very powerful. I know that I have signed up for a workshop that you have coming up in a month or so or less. Let's maybe dive a little bit into that. There's a workshop coming up. I'm also too, for if any of you are watching this in March of 2025, then we're doing a gift giveaway, the Spring Equinox gift giveaway in March, and this will likely be something that is coming around every year. It's my hope that there's going to be people who are often jumping into this so that they can explore and move out people, like, let me rephrase that, not move out people, but have people expand and recognize more of their, if you will, sacred gifts. Christina, you've got a workshop coming up that is very, very potent that helps people with this. Can you maybe tell us a little bit about that workshop, please?
It's 90 minutes long, and it is to explore what sacred gifts are. It's an introduction to your sacred gifts. During this workshop, you get to understand or come to understand this feel on purpose formula. This was priceless to me. This is the most valuable piece I found outside of learning what my gifts are. Understanding what this formula was and being able to apply it to my life right away, super invaluable. So it's 19 minutes. It's happening on March 19th. That'll be happening at 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. This is through this beautiful gift giveaway that Sandra has. I am offering this as a gift to you. Anyone who wants to join me, I would love for you to come and learn what sacred gifts are and be exposed to this feel on purpose formula. I would rather you feel on purpose on a regular basis than out there seeking find your purpose, the singular thing that's out there that, this elusive thing that one day might show up. I'd rather you feel on purpose on a regular basis. So join me on March 19th at 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Link into that or connect through this beautiful gift giveaway that Sandra is doing. Connect with all the beautiful things that this incredible community of people have brought together to really advance you and yourself. And this is just one little special little thing that I've tucked in there for you as well.
I love that. And I'm under the impression that this isn't a one-timer, that after this one, there will be more opportunities moving forward. And I just say that because there's going to be people who are listening to this ideally down the road as well. The magic of this opportunity to do this 90-minute workshop with Christina, and I really cannot drive this home powerfully enough. I've been sitting in Christina's energy now, her and I on a one-on-one basis for a number of months, and it's invaluable. That time spent with Christina is truly invaluable. She's really helped me to see next steps, to look at things from different perspectives, to recognize my own. Like, I don't even know what my sacred gifts are yet, but I can just feel the power that when I get into this workshop with Christina as a beautiful mentor, that it's going to really im, im, im. It's going to expand what I'm doing in even a more magical way. And what's really powerful about this, and you'll notice I say the word powerful, is because it really feels like that's what we are being asked to do when we're choosing to step into the light, when we're choosing to step into our life in a different way. We're being asked to start to claim our powers. And that's what this workshop with Christina, this 90-minute sacred gift thing, is really all about, is stepping into your natural power. Is there anything that you want to? I don't want to wind it up here. Is there anything else that you'd like to express though to the listeners about your own experiences, or maybe an example of somebody who you've helped? That would be wonderful.
First, let me say thank you for such a beautiful, just beautiful comment, Sandra, about spending time together. And I'm so excited that you're coming and stepping in, because I have been seeing your gifts in action for such some time. And let me tell you about the power of what this does. And I think I'll just use you as the example, because I know you're going to feel into it. I'm not going to reveal what your gifts are, but I'm going to show you how powerful they truly are. When we build businesses, there are so many moving pieces. And it's really important that as the business owner, we can have that big picture in mind. But at the end of the day, we're not meant to be the be all end all of every single little appointment in our business. And when we can align ourselves in those gifts, these things that become so effortless to us, that give us endless energy, that lift us up, that get us excited, we take on the positions in our business that truly create traction, momentum, sustainability. All of these things become very, very powerful catalysts in our business. But maybe even more importantly, we get out of our own way. Because when we know what our gifts are not, which is just as powerful, right? Like, this is, if there was like the second aha to be had when learning my sacred gifts, it was the ones I did not have. Because once I learned those, I could align myself with beautiful partners like you, Sandra, who have completely different gifts than I do. And when we come together, we're able to gift our communities even more beautifully. So in a community, I imagine, with like people similar to you, this is going to be an incredible opportunity to see something about yourself in a very personal, intimate way. And at the very same time, see how you, in a very beautiful way, gift the world powerfully with what you already innately are. It's not going to require you to do anything more. It's not something outside of you. It's something already in you. It's who you are. And all we're going to do is we're going to help you reveal that. And when you bring it forward, the fun that you get to have with this and building your business, Sandra, I'm really excited for you. It's going to be so much fun.
I love this. I can feel you. Tell us a little bit about the idea of the World Mastermind Cafe Inc., please.
The World Mastermind Cafe is a beautiful idea to gather individuals to explore both their personal and their professional lives as they merge as one big thing. When we really think about the amount of time we spend in our business, and maybe you have listeners here, Sandra, that aren't business owners, maybe they're employees, and maybe they've got projects, maybe they're just part of a team. But where we put our focus and our time is still part of our time. And for the majority of us, we spend more time in our businesses than anywhere else. So when we pretend as if it's not personal to us and we're just going to, leave that at the door and put on these business caps and be oh so professional, we really kind of disconnect from our humanity and we forget to bring ourselves to the table. And in the cafe, it's this beautiful invitation to take your seat at the table, to sit into all that you are, your gifts included, all that makes you powerful and all your potential all that your dreams hold, and give it some space to breathe, some conversations, a community of people around you all doing the exact same thing. And in this space, what makes it so beautiful, and I think maybe what sets it aside in this working environment, is that it's very much a collaborative space. When you sit at the table, you're as gifted as the next person at the table. There's no hierarchy. There's not any experts in the room other than the very gifted souls that you sit at the table with. And when we bring our gifts to the table and we bring more than our appetite, meaning we come with more than an intention of just getting, but we're really there to both give and receive, everybody gets fed, everybody gets served, and nobody goes hungry. In this space is a beautiful space to both personally and intentionally grow yourself and your business.
That's so beautiful. I'm just kind of feeling into the energy of where I was and where I am now. What I've really witnessed is, and for the business people, or if you're even not even if you're doing a business, it's that moment when you decide to reevaluate and see where you want to go. Hang on a second. Decisions are being made in that moment. Doing this type of workshop with Christina is going to actually empower you in a different way when you're doing those decisions. It's actually going to decrease the amount of time that you spend spinning your wheels. A case in point is that I, back in the fall of 2023, really recognized that I wanted to change who I was working with. I didn't know what it was, but I knew that I wanted to start to shift and change in that. And it took me the full year plus to really start to understand what that was. And it went from inner child to actually people who are the what's next after doing the inner child work. But it was also to really recognizing that I really want to work with business women who have this beautiful idea that's growing within themselves, and what that might look like if it becomes a passion project that they can actually put on the table, like a table like yours, Christina, in the World Master Cafe, versus just having it on the shelf back there being a dream that never comes to fruition. And it was really interesting because I think you and I were in a conversation when I suddenly realized that I was actually in front of women who were business people. And it had taken me that full year to even recognize that, that that's what I was doing. So I love that we have a really powerful opportunity here to help people who are in the crux of change. And that in that crux of change, there's people like yourself who are out there going, hey, there is a small, simple solution. And even if it's only this 90-minute workshop, I would highly recommend that you take that opportunity to hop on and take a closer look at that. I'd love for you to speak about your own experience about this last year and a half and what your realization was.
There's been quite a few things that have happened over the last several years in my business, and really leaning into alignment. And I think that's, if I want to pull out a thread that really resonates for me, it's going to be the one of alignment. And knowing when you're in alignment and out of alignment, I don't think there's something that you could pay better attention to, because it only takes a very small, just a small tweak of being in or out. Before too long, you are riding a whole different experience. And starting one with the end in mind, Sandra, like really knowing what it is on your heart and what it is you're wanting to create. As a coach, as a business owner, as someone who helps people bring their businesses and their dreams into life, it's really important for me for people to really see that big picture and really have that threaded right through to their daily activities. So over the course of the last year, I said a lot of yeses. And I know that you have too. A lot of yeses to our dreams. Those really big dreams, said lots of yeses to a lot of exciting moments. And some of the moments were so perfectly threaded. And I know for you and for me both, we have said yes to some moments that weren't so perfectly in alignment. And, when you start doing the oh my goodness, this is a bumpy ride, things that are out of alignment, it really has you take a pause And for me, I know that our conversations and creating space for people to have conversations about how things are going. Imagine that space to talk about what's going on and to be able to say, hey, this feels great. This doesn't feel so great. And stop thinking that there's a perfect definition for business. More so, there's a definition that feels right for me as a business owner. And when that's in alignment, we can really take action. Even when it's not the greatest things in the world, it's really easy to do the hard work when we're working towards an outcome that we really, really want, that's in alignment. And the minute when we can really tap in and just feel into that, like, let's use the language feeling on purpose. If you do not feel on purpose in the work that you're doing, you're out of alignment. Imagine that. If you do not feel that effortless ease of that alignment, that's another thing that happens when we're in perfect alignment. The flow of energy just keeps going. If that is not an energy that you're feeling, guess what? You're out of alignment. The decisions that I've made in this past year are ones that keep me attuning to that very effortless, feel good energy. Let's just leave it on the point of energy. Feel good energy that has us keep showing up for the difference we make in the world, for the work that we get to do, for the yes.
You said a very powerful word there, and actually two. One was alignment, and one is the word yes. So I want to focus in on the alignment and then come around to the yes. The alignment is so critical. I found that when I shifted into my heart space and started to do everything in my business with my heart versus my head, it changed the whole feeling of my business, both for myself and for people who were watching. So that is so powerful. It goes way deeper than that though. And Christina is a beautiful person to really help you discover this. It's about the thread that she was saying about how you bring that alignment into everything. Like the wisdom that this woman has is just like so incredible. It truly is. So what I see with my business and how it's unfolding, it's just like it's got this beautiful domino effect occurring now because she watched me. She watched me the one day literally start to go, there's that thread. And when like it was so magical because now everything that I do is in alignment with that. And it I thought I was in alignment when I was working with the inner child stuff. However, my alignment now has is there's no explanation to it versus what I thought I was doing before. And that's a really beautiful place to be in. The other thing you said was the word yes. And it's knowing that those yeses, that the one that is probably most important is the one that is when you say yes to yourself. Because that was the game changer for both Christina and I in this whole everything that's happened in I think every aspect of our life, probably for our whole lives, is when we decided to say yes to ourselves. The floor is yours with that, Christina.
Yeah, the yes is, there was a time in my life where I thought saying yes was I'm saying yes to everything. And then I realized one day it was just a singular yes. And I just needed to remind myself that that singular yes had been made. That decision had been done. There was nothing else to talk about. You see it over my shoulder. There's this yes written there. It's a daily reminder. It just kind of cuts through all the nonsense. And that yes was to me. I said yes to me. There's now I just got to make right by it, do right by it, be right by it, and really sit in that type of alignment. And a yes to me means that I'm allowed to look at my decisions and make new ones should I need to. It means that if it doesn't feel right, there's just another decision to be made. And the decision that I already said yes to me already says that the outcome has been established. It's already been determined. I already said yes. That means I've already decided to be successful. The only thing that will deter me or get me off course is if I choose to decide differently. And that yes to me, it says it all. There's nothing else to say yes to if I've already said yes to me.
Wow. This goes like I'm sure we could talk at great length around this word yes because I could see the yeses and where we can actually use this in different ways. What I mean by that is, there was a really beautiful example of a person in my community who has been saying yes to a number of different things over the, and only recently, that's how I would like to word this, and only recently has found that she's had the ability to then step into actually doing those things. So it starts with the thought, with the intention of, yes, this is what I want, so that you can start moving in that direction. And it can go into your business, it can go into your relationships, it can go into cleaning the shed, it can go into exercising, it can go into, I was going to say feeding yourself, but that eating, whatever it is. And as I started out this whole conversation, I spoke about physiotherapy. I could sit around and mope about an injury that is however many, months old, or I could step into being proactive about what I'm going to do about my life. And how is my life going to evolve around what my heart truly wants? I keep saying yes to myself. Yeah. With that in mind, I really do recommend that people jump into the 90-minute workshop, the Sacred Gifts workshop with Christina. You will find it available in the spring equinox, the March gift giveaway that's coming up in the middle of the month. So, what is your final takeaway that you would suggest to people with regards to stepping into the light and stepping into your life?
Ooh, you know me. It's hard to boil things down to one thing. You stay for one. You come for one, you stay till two. One of those. What do I want to leave you with? This is maybe what I'd like to say. I know that in business, so very few of us make it through our first couple of years in business. And that's a statistic that's really hard to swallow. And you sitting here listening might be one of those people. And I can tell you what the statistics also say. They also say that imposter syndrome is the main cause for this. When you know your gifts, it's really hard to feel like an imposter. And when you don't feel like an imposter, it's really hard to not step in with all that you are. It becomes so effortless to be you in the world. And Sandra, I don't know, the most beautiful thing I think the world could receive right now is more authentic, more beautiful people just stepping in with their gifts and all that they have to offer, and really bringing forth these beautiful businesses that serve the world in this brand new way. It's very gift centered. That's what I'd maybe want to share. It's just how important your yes is to you, and a beautiful way to discover that yes and that you-ness is maybe by coming and discovering your sacred gifts.
Love it. Thank you so much. Christina de Souza and myself really welcome you into choosing to step into your light, choose to step into your life. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for being here.